Hi FlossTube, I'm Annie and I am the Proper Stitcher, and welcome to episode number 79. If this is your first time joining me, I am so glad you stopped by today. This is a channel where I like to talk about cross stitch and quilting and hopefully give you inspiration to fully finish your projects. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support and all of your wonderful comments you send my way. I appreciate each and every one of you. So I have been on a very fun and exciting cross-stitch adventure over the last week, and I can't wait to share all those details with you. As I mentioned last time I recorded, which was a week ago Friday, today is Sunday, the 11th, December 11th. I left on Friday, December, I think it was the 2nd? It was a Friday. I left on that Friday and drove to Farmington, Missouri, where I went to Stitch Etc. in Farmington, Missouri. And then from there, I went to Country Sampler. I'm going to go over all those details of that trip with you, but I wanted to share a little bit of life updates before we get into all of those exciting adventures. So today is Sunday, December 11th. Gray comes home today. She was supposed to come home yesterday, but the silly girl got all the way to the airport, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away from school, only to realize that she did not have her wallet, she did not have her driver's license, she did not have her ID. So fortunately, she realized this before the shuttle left, and she was able to take the shuttle back to school. And we had to change her flight, change all of that in all those travel plans. And so she is coming home tonight. She'll be home this evening. So we cannot wait for her to be home. She has finished her first semester at college. She's exhausted. She is just ready to have a break, and she really has earned this break. So we're looking forward to having her home and just can't wait for her to be home this evening. So that was a bit of just a stressful moment yesterday, trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to get her home? Matt was even considering going up to get her because there was some concern that the flights would have been booked and it would have been a little bit difficult, but it all worked out and she'll be home this evening. So, and Tristan is now preparing for his midterm. So he's in the middle of all of that, and he has a holiday concert with school on Tuesday night. So that will be fun. That's one of my favorite things that the school does every year. If your child is in band or orchestra or anything like that, they put on a fantastic Christmas event. So we are looking forward to that on Tuesday. Matt held down the fort while I was gone for a week, and everything was wonderful when I got home. And so now I'm just getting full steam ahead. I have lots to do to get ready for Christmas and Gray's birthday and all those fun things. So, but it's nice to be home. It was fun to get away, but it's also fun to come home. So let's jump into all the details of my trip. I took lots of pictures. Of course, I really probably could have taken more photos, but I took a lot of photos, and I will definitely insert those throughout the video. So I'm going to go over all the details of my trip. I'm going to share with you some previous finishes. I do have some whips and one finish to share with you, lots of haul and a couple of gifts, and then I have some giveaways. So let's just grab a pen and paper, grab your favorite beverage, and let's just jump right in. Okay, let's start with Stitch Etc. So Kim Gavlik is the owner of Stitch Etc., and she and her daughter Ashley have a wooden board business where that's where it all started. They have wooden boards that they sell, and then this past summer she opened a cross stitch store in Farmington, Missouri, and she invited me to come along or to come over and have a day of finishing Christmas ornaments. So she put the word out. We invited people to come and join us. Kim supplied all the supplies for finishing Christmas ornaments, and Kay Reese, our good friend, was my partner in crime that day. She helped me with all of the people who came to finish ornaments, and it was so much fun. We met so many people. A lot of people brought their stitched piece. A lot of people wanted them finished as flat finishes for a Christmas ornament. Some wanted to mount them on one of Kim's boards. But we saw so many beautiful, beautiful ornaments, and we had so much fun helping everyone. So I got there on Friday night and kind of set up everything in the finishing room. And coincidentally, that was the same night of Farmington's little their small town Christmas parade, and that was so much fun to see a small town Christmas parade go up and down the main street, and that is where Kim's store is. So we had the best seats for watching the parade, and it was just a lot of fun. Kind of got me in the Christmas spirit. It doesn't take much to get me in the Christmas spirit, but it definitely did help a lot. So we did that, and then we went to dinner, and then the next morning on Saturday is when everyone arrived, and it was just so much fun. I got to meet new people, meet new faces, and see some friends that I've met throughout the years at some of Kim's cross-stitch retreats. So how we had it set up was in the back room, we had sort of like an assembly line. So she had on one table all of the sticky board, quilt batting, the guillotine for cutting sticky board, and then on another table we had the ironing board, fabric for choosing and selecting how you wanted to match up the fabric with your ornament. And then on another table we had all the trim, all the ribbons, the bells, the greenery, all those kinds of things. So there, we did the best we could. There were a lot of people and a lot of moving parts because of the different stations you had to go to, but it was so much fun. And I posted some photos on my Facebook page and on my Instagram page, but I wanted to also share some photos here on my FlossTube because I know a lot of you do not have a social media account. So I took photos like I normally do, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and insert those photos here so that you can see all the fun that we had at Kim's shop. So enjoy these pictures. So as you can see, we had so much fun. Lots of people showed up, lots of creative finishing ideas. A lot of people wanted to do everything themselves and hands-on and learn the process. A lot of people wanted, you know, a combined and group effort. It was a lot of fun just asking people, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And we got ideas off of each other, and it was a lot of fun. One particular ornament that was finished was one of the last ones. It was the one that we finished, and I don't, if you remember from the photos I just showed, it was on a whiteboard, and it says joy on it. And in the O of joy is a little chickadee or a little bird. I have had so many people ask me for the information on that ornament, and I have no doubt that the viewers who have not followed me on social media will also ask me, where do you get that ornament? It is actually a freebie ornament from a blog, and it is, I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's from an international designer. So what I'm going to do is put the link to her blog below. I will list it as Joy Freebie Ornament, and you can go on to her blog. I believe it's from 2019. Scroll back a couple of pages and you will find it. Lots of other beautiful freebies on her blog. I will not embarrass myself like I normally do and try to pronounce it, but have no fear. It is in that blog. You can go and find it and enjoy stitching that. It was definitely the one of the most asked about patterns. I think because it's one that a lot of us have not seen. All the others are ones that are more recent, and we have seen it. We saw a lot of Country Cottage Needleworks. We saw some JBW ornaments stitched, some Primrose Cottage, and just lots of fun ornaments. And it was just such a great idea, and I'm so glad that Kim asked me to do that. What started that conversation was I did not want to drive to Wisconsin by myself for this trip that we've had planned for so long, and I didn't want to fly either. And so I said, well, instead of me driving to Wisconsin by myself, why don't I drive to Farmington, and the three of us, Kim, Kay, and I, can ride together to Wisconsin. So that's what I did. I drove to Farmington. She said, why don't we go ahead and make a day out of it? You can stay in the store and or shop, you know, work in the store that day, and then we can go afterwards. So it was a lot of fun. So when the store closed on that Saturday, after the ornament party, if you will, we cleaned up our mess. We jumped in the car and we drove all the way to Madison, Wisconsin, which is close to Spring Green. We wanted to spend the night in Madison because the next day it's about another 35 or 40 minutes to go on into Spring Green, but we wanted to do a little bit of shopping at like the Home Goods and World Market and eat at one of our favorite restaurants in Madison. So we decided to spend the night in Madison, wake up Sunday morning, already be there, shop, have a quick lunch, and then go on into Spring Green. We actually rented the apartment that's upstairs from Spring Green, from Country Sampler. So that was a lot of fun. That was the first time we've ever done that, and it was definitely so much fun. But before I go into the details of Country Sampler, I want to show you what I got from Stitch Etc. So here are some of my goodies that I got from Stitch Etc. Oh, I should have pulled all these out before I started recording. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to hear the crinkle of my paper. So one thing I will show you next week because I'm waiting on the pattern to come in. It's actually a gift from my friend Carrie. Carrie and I are going to stitch something together, and she got me the fabric and the floss, but the pattern is coming to me this week. So I'll share all that with you next week. So I'm gonna put this right here. Then you can see the whole package. So these are some patterns I got from Stitch Etc. I got Little Robin Designs. Little Robin has a lot of new designs out this Christmas, and this is beautiful. This one is called Christmas Magic Sampler. And Kim has all of the new releases, but I just love this border. Look at that border. Isn't that just beautiful? And this says, Christmas magic is silent. You don't hear it. You feel it. You know it. You believe it. So it's so pretty. I just love that pattern. So that is a new one from Little Robin Designs. Kim has them in her store. I will also list below the contact information for Stitch Etc. and Country Sampler. Everything that I will share with y'all today, I will try to list it below as well. I also got one of the new Plum Street samplers. This is Grace Doth Abound. And I just love that. All those blues and autumn colors. So pretty. And this says, toil over the ground, yet grace doth abound. Excuse me. So pretty. So pretty. And I don't know if you all have noticed, but Plum Street Sampler has just released their new Christmas patterns too. I think there are 4 of them. One is an exclusive that they had last year for Country Sampler, and the other one's another re-release, and then 2 new ones. And I have 2 of the 4, so I have asked Kim to order me the other 2. So excited, I can't wait. And here is one last one from Little Robin Design, and this one is Christmas at Grandma's 1. So I believe this is going to be a series, but aren't those beautiful? And I talked to Robin about this design, and she said these are like the old ornaments that you would make at school, and that's what or at church, and that's what these reminded her of. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. So cute, so vintage with the blues and the reds and the golds. She's so creative and so talented. So that is Christmas at Grandma's 1. So that is what I got at Stitch Etc. in Farmington, Missouri. So now let's move on to Country Sampler. So last year I also shared with you all my adventure when I went to Country Sampler. And I've only been to Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin 2 times. Both times happened to be Christmas. And so I was a little hesitant. I thought, well, I've already seen it at Christmas. And Country Sampler is the type of store that each season they change their decor. You may see some pieces that they had before, the previous year, but it is oft, from what I understand, it's completely new every time you go in there, which is fabulous, because if you're traveling far away, you want to see something new each time you go in. And that's what they do. They are so creative with how they decorate their store, the models that they have stitched, everything. Every time you go in there, whether they move it around, they probably move it all around, and it's the same stuff, and I just don't know it, but I'm kidding, it's different. But it's beautiful every time I go. And so this time I was thinking, well, the last time I went was Christmas. How different can it be? I've heard people say that, but to see it with my own eyes, it is absolutely the truth. Every time you go in there, it is different. They have different quilts on the walls. They have different models stitched. They also have gift ideas and gift vignettes and all sorts of cute little decorations that you can purchase as well. But everything is different. They have new models on the wall and all of those wonderful things. I took a lot of photos there as well, that I knew that you all would want to see them. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and insert those photos here so you can see all the pictures of the shop. I did not take any photos of the apartment space upstairs, so I only took photos of the store. And it was nice to see it in the daytime and at night, because they leave all the lights on at night, and so you're able to get the full effect of all their Christmas lights. So I'm going to go ahead and insert those photos here, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Spring Green. So enjoy. as you can see, it is such a beautiful store. It is very magical. And from what I understand, every season it is equally as beautiful and the decorations are equally as magical and magnificent. So, but we had a really good time there. We got there on Sunday afternoon, and it was so fun to stay upstairs of the store. It was also very dangerous because we went into the store every day that we were there. So the first night we were there, we just enjoyed stitching and each other's company. And then the next day on Monday, we went downstairs. You go down the stairs to the right, and you're in the store. And so we were in the store a couple of times that day. It was just wonderful. We ate lunch in the little town, a couple of little places to eat. In the winter, it's a little bit tricky because of the winter hours, but we were able to find plenty of food and we enjoyed it. And then we stitched a lot that afternoon. I did get a lot of stitching done. I didn't stitch on a lot of different things, but I got a lot of stitching done. So I am going to share all of those with you too. But let me show you first what I got at Country Sampler and Spring Green. So here we go. And I was actually pretty good this time. I thought that being upstairs from the store that I would probably buy too much just because you're upstairs. I did purchase, but I didn't buy as much as I did last year. So this is one of my favorite pieces that I got. And the wonderful thing about Country Sampler is they kit up a lot of pieces. And when they kit it at Country Sampler, they often change the colors. And when they do, they will list it. Sometimes they don't change the colors, but when they do, they'll put that the color changes in their kit. So this is the first thing I got. This is Stacy Nash Primitives Deck the Coop Pin Keep. And I'm not taking this one out of the bag because of all of I bought it as a kit. But I love this. How cute is that? It is Christmas and chickens and Stacy Nash, all of my favorite things. So absolutely beautiful. Look at that holly berry. So in here, it has the finishing fabric for the back, for the pillow. It has the linen and all the floss. And this is going to be stitched on 36 count winter brew. And this will probably be my New Year's Day start because I really want to have this stitched by next Christmas. Some of this is going to be a bit of a mess because I also bought some fabric. This is another Stacy Nash. I think, yeah, I bought two Stacy Nash. The rest are other designers. Stacy Nash Mary Mary Pin Keep. And this was in the photos that I showed y'all too. This one is going to be stitched on 36 count winter brew as well. This one also has the backing fabric, the linen. This one is all DMC floss and the ribbon for finishing. So Mary Mary Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. So pretty. The next one that I got, and this is going to be a little bit, I'm changing this one up a little bit. This is Peace on Earth by Samplers Not Forgotten. And this is one that they have stitched in their store. And this, I believe, is an exclusive to their store. So if you are interested, you will have to contact them directly. Okay, so here's the pattern. And this is Peace on Earth, Samplers Not Forgotten. So here is the whole sampler. But what I am going to do is I am going to stitch just this middle piece here as one project. And then a different project, I am just going to stitch this right here. And that is not my idea. That is one of the ways that they had it stitched in the store. They had this whole sampler stitched, and then they also had it stitched those other two ways. And what this says is, peace on earth will come to stay when we live Christmas every day. And so how they had that stitched was, this was all one piece, and then when they stitched this, they added peace on earth to the top of it. And they had this one finished into a pillow and this one framed. And that's what I'm going to do. So I got everything I needed to do those 2 projects. So how they had it packaged was, you can do, they had the kits set up where if you wanted to stitch this as one big piece, they had that kit for you. So they had the linen cut out for you. They had all of the floss you needed for that. So, or if you just wanted to do the house and the verse, which is what I got. Hang on. Let me get this in here. So if you wanted to do just the house and the verse, that's how this was this is how this was packaged. House and verse only with 46 count linen. They had other count linen. I chose the 46 count. So that was that. And I am stitching both fabrics that I got it's Fiber on a Whim, Affogato, and 46 count. The other one that I got, same one, this is for the smaller pillow piece that I'm going to do. I also got the trim. So the floss will be enough for both projects, but so all I did was I got another piece of linen and the trim to stitch the pillow. And their pillows are perfectly finished. They have, they use sawdust to fill theirs, and so it's a really nice, hard, firm pillow. And so that is what I'm going to do this time too. I'm going to get some sawdust and finish it. So this is Peace on Earth, sampler not forgotten. But it was also beautiful seeing this whole piece stitched as one big piece too. So that was my really big splurge I got. They had so many things, and it would have been so easy for me. I mean, every time I went, I just saw something different, but I was trying really hard because we all know how many whips I have, how much I have in my stash. So then the next things I got this beautiful card, these beautiful cards. They had these beautiful cards in their store, and I just thought they were just so whimsical and creative. I thought they would be pretty framed, but I might send these as gifts with some gifts, but these would make beautiful framed pieces. So I got those 2 cards, and I got a new Blackbird book. This one is The Bells on Christmas Day. It's not a new Blackbird book. It's new to me. It is not a new release. So I got this book, and the reason I did, and I will insert, when I inserted this photo too, but the reason I got it was for this sampler on the back. This will probably also be a New Year's Day start for me, but they had this sampler stitched, and they changed some of the colors. And so this is what I'm planning on doing. I think that this is one that can be out year round. Even though it says Peace on Earth and the border is a little bit more of a holly berry, it's probably one I'll leave out year round. It's so pretty. I don't know. Maybe I'll only have it out for Christmas. But it was beautiful. It was a beautiful model. And that's one of my favorite things about Country Sampler is the models on the wall. They change a lot of things in the models. But every time I walked through that store every day for 3 days, and I saw something different every time I went through. So that one I saw on my last day, our last trip around the store, and I was so glad that I saw that. I got, this is a Brenda Gervais Noel sampler. This one was released a few years ago. I don't remember if I have it in my stash. I'm pretty sure I don't. If it is a duplicate, I will use this as a giveaway, but I loved it. And I didn't want to forget about it. This one's from 2013. So I don't think I have this one, but it's one that I've wanted to stitch for a long time. Maybe that'll be another New Year's Day start. I don't know. And then I got Turkish Red, is the new craze of all the crazes of all the Christmas red. I got Turkish Red, which is a beautiful shade of red, and I'm stitching a lot of different things with this color right now. It reminds me of Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red, so that's probably why I liked it so much. But they used Turkish Red a lot in some of their model changes, so I got that. And then the fabric, I got some Christmas fat quarter. They don't sell fat quarter bundles, but they sell quarter yard. So I got just some quarter yard fabrics. So here's one. And here's another. So with a lot of my Christmas pillows and Christmas ornaments, I thought these would be beautiful little additions to my stash. I love getting fabric for my stash. This one I'm really excited about. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but it's pretty big. I got a half yard of this one, or maybe I got a whole yard. I don't remember. I think okay. So here is this fabric. Isn't that beautiful? With the birds, there are acorns in there. And if you look closely, like with it, like here's like on this little leaf, there's a little snail or a bug. Lots of pops of green. There's a bumblebee. This is, because I know someone's gonna ask me, this is created by, let me see. It is Edith Sitar of Laundry Basket. This is the Woodland Pat collection, and they had it at the front door. So it was just so pretty, and I think it's on their website. I thought this would make great finishing fabric for either a big pillow or for something that I have mounted, I don't know, or just for Christmas ornaments. I just loved it so much. And then my friend Kay got this for me. She and I both loved this fabric. So this is a beautiful blue. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I love it so much. So that is all of my haul from Spring Green, Wisconsin Country Sampler. It was such a fun trip. If you are ever in that area, I highly recommend going to that store. Of course, I recommend you going to Stitch Etc. as well. But they're 7 hours apart, so it's definitely two different regions, but they're both fabulous stores. So much fun, and I just enjoyed my time away and stitching and catching up with friends and just getting some things done. Let me show you something from Kim. So this is, I'm kind of going out of order now from my list. So you all remember I stitched Dreaming Frida for Kim, and she stitched for me another Frida Kahlo design, both from Barbara Anna. And Kim's is still at the framers. Kim knows it's going to be after Christmas when she gets hers. That's just how we roll. Sometimes it comes in on time. Sometimes I get my things done on time. Sometimes I don't. But she had hers stitched for me quite a while ago. She, I think, stitched this in the summer, and she had it framed, and it was hanging in her store for a little while. Well, she wrapped it up and gave it to me this trip, and I am so excited to have it at home. I can't wait to hang it on my wall in my sewing room. But here it is. This is Barbara Anna's Frida and Diego. And first, let me let you look at it. I do not know the fabric she used, but I know it is a 28 count. So I love these colors. Sorry for the glare. That's just the way it is with these lights. But she sent this to Jill Rinsel Studios in Utah to have it framed. And Jill, I think, did a fantastic job with this. It is so pretty. All the detail, that is all hand painted on this frame. I love the turquoise. I love the distressed frame. I think it goes nicely with all the colors in the stitched piece. And I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to hang this on my wall. And I can't wait to see what Jill does with Dreaming Frida. I sent Jill Dreaming Frida, and I can't wait to see what she does with it. But this is so much fun and so exciting, and I love it with all my heart and cannot wait to hang it on my wall. So Barbara Anna has so many fabulous designs, but she has a lot of Frida Kahlo designs and other whimsical pieces, but this one is just makes my heart happy. So I love it. So I wanted to show you that. Okay, so let me show you some previous finishes, then I'll go into my whips. So one thing, and I have shown y'all some of these last year, so if you're new, this will be your first time seeing, and if you've been with me a while, maybe this will be a refresher. But I shared this with y'all last year. This is a Brenda Gervais pattern, and it is called Merry Yuletide. and I left some of the words off. I left all the words off of this one, and I sent this to a finisher. This was before I even attempted to start finishing my own pieces. So I sent this to my finisher, Joy, and she has a company called Finally Finished. She does an amazing job with finishing. A beautiful, beautiful job. And she's finished a lot of things for me in the past. But let me show this to you. So here is Merry Yuletide, and it is a huge pillow. I wanted this to be a big pillow. I believe this is stitched on maybe 22 count. And I loved the blue Santa, and I loved his coat. And this is I put this on my bed, and I think Joy said this is one of her largest pillows that she ever finished. So let me show you a few things, and then we're gonna have a little funny story about it. So she stitched this into finished this into one big pillow. She put this rope trim around it. Here is the Santa face. I just love his face. I love that snowman in the wagon. All of these trees and snowflakes. So I sent this to Joy to be finished, and she sent it back to me, and it was on my bed. I packed it away at the end of that Christmas and put it in the attic, and next Christmas I pulled it out and put it on my bed, and I kept looking at it, and I was like, something's wrong. Something's off about this Santa. And I'll let you look at it and see if you can guess what it is. It took me a couple of seconds, and I was like, he's missing a boot. I forgot to stitch his boot on this Santa. And so I messaged Joy, and I said, Joy, did you notice I didn't stitch the boot on Santa? And she said that she didn't even notice it. So I thought about so many ways of what I could do to fix that, whether I should take the pillow apart, stitch the boot, put it all back together, if I should try to do something. Ultimately, I have a hovering Santa, or he's just, you know, hopping on one foot. It was just such a funny thing, and to this day we still laugh about my Santa missing a boot. But this was probably 6 years ago I stitched this, or maybe longer, maybe 7 years ago. He is one of my favorites. Not sure if you can still get this pattern, but it's called Merry Yuletide. The pattern has words up here and down here, but I left it all off. I think Kim's mom stitched this at one point, and she just did this portion of it, just right here. So there are lots of things you can do with this. You can stitch it on smaller count. You can pull out just the Santa and the snowman and make a little vignette for that. But this is one of my favorite pieces to pull out every year. And of course I get a little chuckle because I left a boot off. I mean, have y'all ever done that? I feel like I've done that before. I often forget something in a pattern, and now it's gotten to where when I'm stitching something, I make sure I didn't forget any little motifs. But here's another previous finish. This was a freebie on Primitive Hair's blog or website. This was a gift. How I met my friend Kim Gavlik. We belonged to a ornament exchange many years ago on a Facebook group. And Kim's mom had my name, and I had Kim's name. And so that's how we met. But this is what Kim's mom stitched for me. Virginia stitched this, and it is the cutest little stocking. It's not a functioning stocking, but it's shaped like a stocking, and it is so sweet. I love it. And so this is on my tree, and then I got this from an exchange this summer at the Stitch Etc. cross stitch retreat. And I love this piece. This is a PDF download on Etsy. I'll link it below. And beautiful finishing on this. Absolutely love this. This was such a fun gift to get. And I actually am thinking about stitching. There are a couple in this series, but I just love how Santa has his little postage stamp face on there. Joy to the World with the postmark, and then on the back, so cute with the year. Absolutely love this one. So those are all of previous finishes and gifts that I have received. So much fun. So much fun to look through all of those, and I'm hoping to share a little bit of those with y'all every week between now and Christmas. I now try to do the majority of my finishing on my own. That is part of why I started this channel, is to hopefully give you inspiration to finish your pieces. I truly believe that anyone can finish, or they can attempt to finish, or learn how to finish. And I really think that we can all do that. Of course, there are some things that I will probably still send to be professionally finished. And I know that there are so many wonderful professional finishers out there, but sometimes that's not in the budget. And so I have tried my hand at a lot of new finishing ideas, and they're not perfect, but they're finished. And so that's where my philosophy of I would rather have a finished project than a perfect project comes into play. So for those of you who are new, that is what I mean. I don't want anyone to be afraid to finish. And hopefully as time goes on, everybody will feel more comfortable finishing their projects. So let's jump into my whips. I don't know if y'all can hear Bella, but she's really snoring. It is her nap time for sure. Okay, so here's some of my whips, and I have a finish to share. But first, I want to show you one thing. I did try my hand at finishing or making some project bags. Not that I am intending on doing this on a regular basis, because believe me, one, I have so many project bags, but two, I honestly believe that project bag making is an art form. It really is. And we have so many wonderful project bag makers out there. And it definitely takes some practice and some time and patience. But again, if that's not in your budget to buy project bags, there are so many wonderful tutorials to follow. And I followed Celeste Creates project bag tutorial, and I made a project bag. I wanted to add the project bag, a Christmas project bag, to my exchange gift, the one that I showed you last week for spring green, the one that I finished on the board. And so what I put in there was a project bag, but that's been given as a gift. I did not take photos of that, but I made a project bag for myself. And I found this wonderful fabric. It's a Freebie Ornament fabric, and I just loved the blues. So I made myself a bag, and then a little bag to go inside it, or to go with it. And I followed Celeste's tutorial, and I'll link it below too. But here's the inside of my bag. This is not perfect at all. I made so many mistakes, but it was so much fun to make. I don't think I'll be making very many of these, but it was just a lot of fun. I even made a little zipper pull. So I got a little Freebie Ornament image, and I made a little zipper pull. So I will link Celeste's bag tutorial below. So I have a finish. I finished And To All a Good Night by Blackbird Designs. So let me pull out the pattern for those of you who have not seen it. This is an out of print pattern, And To All a Good Night, and it is by Blackbird Designs. And I've been stitching it a little bit on and off for a couple of months, and I have a finish. Here it is. I finished it. So let me come in a little bit so you can see. I stitched this on 32 count vintage country mocha, and I used 2 strands of floss over 2. I made 1 color change, and the reason I did that is because this is such an old pattern. I think some of the floss dye lots, when this pattern was designed, I think those dye lots have changed. So where it used angel hair for the stars and the moon and the snow, my angel hair was really yellow, and it is a Weeks Dye Works color. So I changed it to Weeks Dye Works linen, and it made it just it still had a vintage look, but it was more white tan than white yellow. So I just love it, and I will definitely have this one framed. I am not going to framed this one myself because it is such an odd shape. But I am so happy with how this turned out. So excited. Just love this colonial style home. Love the brick, love the fruit, the candles in the window. So exciting. So I have a finish and I'm so excited. It's very rare that I get to say I have a finish. One that's for me anyway. So I can't wait to take this to the framer. I'll probably do that this week. I know it'll be a few weeks before I get it back, but it's just so much fun to have one finished. So that is one finish that I have to share with you. And the other things that I worked on while I was away, one is the Over the Fields We Go by JBW Designs. This is a stitch along that I am co-hosting with Merritt Crawford. And if you would like to follow us, use the hashtag JBW OER the Fields We Go SAL. No, excuse me. Hashtag JBW OER the Fields SAL. I'll put that below too. But it's fun to go on Instagram and to see and use and enter that hashtag in the search, and you can see other people's progress. It is so much fun. But there are a lot of different ways of stitching this. You can stitch it on the red fabric like Judy did. You can also stitch it white with red. She also has one colorway where you can stitch it white with blue. I don't know if you noticed in the photos that I shared with from Country Sampler, they changed theirs. And I had started mine on the red fabric with the white. Didn't get very far. I maybe had half of a deer. And then we went to Country Sampler. And I saw their model stitched. And I fell in love with it. So I gave my start on the red fabric and the white DMC to Kay to give to her mom. And I started over. This is what I worked on a lot at Spring Green, Country Sampler. I finished the Antuala Goodnight there, and I started this one. And so here's my start. And they had this stitched on a, I'll tell you the color linen in just a second. And they used Turkish red, but this is stitched on 36 count. And I started in the middle and then went to the left. Is that right? Yeah, I started in the middle, the center, and went here. And so now what I'm gonna do is, now I'm still in the middle, the center, and I'm now going this way. So here it is. So because this is on 36 count, I am stitching one strand of floss and I'm stitching it over two. But that Turkish red, look at the variegation, how beautiful this is. I just love Judy's patterns. And so this came in a kit. Excuse me. They had the pattern, which I already had the pattern, but I wanted the kit. So they had the pattern, a piece of fabric for backing it, and the linen and the Turkish red. So the linen I'm using is 36 count flannel flower. So if you look at it, it's a little kind of a grungy color with little specks. The modeling is sort of a bluish gray modeling. I don't know if you can see that. So pretty. And I'm so excited that I switched it. And Judy messaged me and she said that someone is finishing this into a drum. I think that would be a great option for this as well. I don't know if I'm going to finish it into a pillow. I don't know if I'm going to do a drum or if I'm going to put it on a board. I just haven't decided yet, but I am so happy that I changed it. And I'm happy because Kay's mom really wanted that red fabric, and it was nice to know that it went to a good home because she was not going to buy the fabric for herself. So Kay's mom has the fabric, she has the white floss, and I switched it to this. Kim had a great idea. She said even stitched on this linen or any sort of khaki linen and stitching it in black would be beautiful. To kind of give it that huntery look, or even a green. Oh, so pretty. So many choices. But here's my progress for this stitch along. And it is so much fun to stitch, so much fun. Let me show it to you one more time. So many different choices for this, but it was beautiful in their store and it caught my attention. And so I had to change it. I just had to. So I love it in the red, but I'm glad I switched it to this. So that just seems more like something that seems more like me, I guess. And that's what's so much fun about all of these types of patterns. You can make it your own. You can change it any way. You know, even if you wanted to stitch this and add color to it, you know, you can stitch little dots of green in there throughout, or anything like that. So much fun. So that I made really good progress on while we were there. And I did find that the Turkish red is a good substitution for a lot of reds. So I keep all of my JBW pieces in this bag. So that is the second thing I worked on while I was at Spring Green, while we were in Spring Green. My other one is, this is a stitch along I'm doing with Celeste Creates, and it is Plum Street Samplers, This Joyous Season. Sorry I didn't have this out of the bag. This Joyous Season by Plum Street Samplers. Let me go in a little bit more so you can see that. I love that house. That's what drew me to this pattern. We started this on July 25th, kind of Christmas in July idea. And I am using 36 count vintage navy bean, 36 count vintage navy bean by Lakeside Linen. And here's my progress. So I started in the upper right corner and wanted to get started on that border. Then I did all of the wording, repeat the sounding joy. And then I came down here. I jumped right into the house because I really wanted to see that red plaid. As you can see, in the middle of the roof is this basket. I'll go back and do that later, but I really wanted to get started on this house. Well, a friend of mine that was on this trip, Dawn Eck, she had started the house and she changed the red. The red in the pattern calls for cayenne, which is a Weeks Dye Works color. And she changed hers to Merlot. I decided to change mine to Merlot because hers was finished, her house, and it was absolutely stunning. So let me show you the Merlot, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like compared to the cayenne. So here's the Merlot, and that is the color of the house. So you can see it just made that house really rich, really pop. Here's the cayenne. It's a very slight difference, but here's the cayenne. Probably not enough really to make a big difference, but the Merlot is just a little bit more of a blue red than an orange red. So let me show it to you side by side. So here's the Merlot right here, and then this is the cayenne. So I decided to follow Dawn's lead and switched it to Merlot. Now I'm keeping the little berries and the holly, the cayenne, that's the same red, but I just changed the house to Merlot. And this is just so much fun. It's 36 counts, so I'm using 1 strand of floss over 2. It's a blend of Weeks Dye Works and DMC used in this. Here are all the colors, and it's a big girl pattern. It's big girl for me. It's going to take me a while. That house alone is huge, but it is so pretty. This will definitely be one that'll be finished by next year, probably. Definitely not this year. But that was my other whip that I worked on this trip, and it was just so much fun to just sit and focus and stitch on a few things. I really thought that I would touch more of my projects, but I'm very pleased with the amount of work that I was able to get done on all of these projects. So that is all of my whips from this past week. I do have a few more pieces of haul to share with you that were not related to the trip. They came in and were waiting on me when I got home. So here is a Christmas card I got. This came from a viewer, Christina. Thank you, Christina. And then I ordered some fabric just on Etsy. So I got some fabric in. I just love fabric. I don't know why, but anyway. So here is some Christmas fabric. And I thought these would be great for finishing little pillows, the nutcrackers, more little Christmas. I just loved this blue. This would be great for spring and summer. And then this little bunny rabbit. So many pretty, pretty pieces of fabric. And I got a gift from Carol with Kreative Carol. She has started making portfolios. Kreative Carol is a bag maker. She makes beautiful bags. Many times I've used them as giveaways, and I will list her Etsy shop below. I know that she's closed her Etsy shop for a couple of weeks to finish some Christmas orders, but she is starting to make these portfolios, and she sent one to me. So let me show it to you. I'm gonna open it. Inside, it reminds me of the portfolios, like the I can't remember what they were called when I was in school, when I was in middle school, and you had your folders on either side and then another folder in the middle, but these two sides are vinyl, and I think this would be great for keeping track of like your scissors and all those small items that are easy to just kind of misplace. You know, your corner gauge, big enough to put your little embroidery scissors, all kinds of things on both sides. These unzip, and you can keep things right in there. And just the fabric is beautiful. And she's even putting this lining right here, so you can put two, it's like you have two pockets in one. And then in the middle, you have your floss keeper. So this would be great while you're stitching, something to keep your floss attached to, and then a place to keep your needle if you have for extra needles. So, and these little tags, so cute and so creative. But she is Kreative Carol, and both with K's, Creative with a K, Carol with a C. I'll link her Etsy shop below. I do know she's put it on pause for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, but go and check her out and keep her on your favorite shop, because this is great. And she has a lot of different fabric options too for this. So thank you so much, Carol. I really appreciate it and can't wait to put this to good use. So with all of that, let's talk about giveaways. So last week we had some good giveaways last week too. I asked you all to tell me your favorite Christmas carol. And that was really a lot of fun to read. Some of them I've not heard of before, so that was nice to get some new Christmas carols to look into. That was a lot of fun. So let me tell you a little bit about the giveaways. So for those of you who do not know, to enter to win the giveaways, you be a subscriber to my channel, like the video, and answer the question below that I'm going to ask you. Answer the question below in the comments and put the number that you're interested in winning. So each of the giveaways will be numbered. So list number 1, number 2, number 3, and so on. The next week, the day that I filmed the video, right before I set to record, I use a random comment generator. I do not pick the winners. The random comment generator does. And it's based off of those numbers, the number 1, the number 2, the number 3. Then what I do is I find, when it selects a winner, I make sure that you are a subscriber, and then you are then the winner of that item. And then I announce the winner in my video. That's how it's done. The random comment picker, unfortunately, does not select winners from my email. It does not select winners from Instagram if you message me, and so on. It only pulls from the comments listed below on YouTube. So that's how it works. So these are the winners from last week. Number 1 was Painted Meadow quilt pattern from Fat Quarter Shop. Maggie Rietman, or Reitman, R-I-E-T-M-A-N, Maggie Reitman. Number 2 was, these are not all from, this is also from Fat Quarter Shop. Frosty Typeface Series, number 2, goes to Diane Lemon. Diane Lemon. Number 3 is from Robin with Little Robin Designs. This goes to Christy with an I. Christy Forget Me Not Stitching. Number 4 was Teresa Kogut. Oh, What a Sight. This goes to Lynn Ellis. Number 5, also from Teresa Kogut. This is Catherine, K-A-T-H-R-Y-N, Catherine Lakey, L-A or Lackey, L-A-C-K-E-Y. And the last one was a gift bag from Joyful Stitching. Wonderful bag. I will also list her Etsy shop below. Joyful Stitching. This goes to Stephanie Racine, R-A-C-I-N-E, Stephanie Racine. So if I called your name, please email me, tell me what you won, and send me your address. If your name is different than the name that is listed on YouTube, tell me what your name is so I can address it to you properly. And I will get those out in the mail to you as soon as possible. So now let's go into the giveaways for this coming week. Also, as a side note, I do have a Facebook page, and I do have questions for you to answer to join the Facebook page group. I've had to change a lot to the Facebook page group, the automatic acceptance and stuff like that. I had to change it to where I go in and hand accept every single one that requests to join. And it's based on how you answer the questions. And that way I know you are a real person who you are really interested in joining a cross stitch Facebook page. I had a couple of spammers and people hack my page. And so this is really the only way that I can think of to protect all of my followers and people on that group. So I believe the questions are, how did you hear about this group? How long have you been cross stitching? What is Annie's philosophy for cross stitch? And it is, I would rather have a finished project than a perfect project, or something like that. Just so I know that you know what I'm talking about, and what you, and just so you just know what the group is about and why you want to join the group. I think those are the questions on there. It's just the only way I can know that you are a real person. I also have an Instagram that I would love for you to follow. Anyone can join just to follow, and I try to post there as well photos of what I am working on and stitching and all those fun things. So this week's giveaways. This is the question, okay? Remember, be a subscriber, like the video, and this is the question I'd like for you to answer. What is your favorite Christmas tradition in your family or any of that? We have a couple of traditions in my family, and one of them, we have a lot, but one of my new favorites this year will be our 3rd year to do this, and we have an ugly Christmas sweater contest. And what we do is all of us, there's the 4 of us, and last year Matt's sister joined us, and then every year our good friend James joins us. But you either buy an ugly Christmas sweater or you make an ugly Christmas sweater, and we wear it and we go out to dinner. So it would be too easy if we made our ugly Christmas sweaters and hid inside our homes. No. We continue the shenanigans out to dinner. So we go out to dinner, and it's a nice restaurant. We go out to dinner in our full-blown ugly Christmas outfits, and it is so much fun. And last year we had a couple of people come up and just say how much fun it was to see us just looking like, you know, the ridiculous people that we are, but it really brightened a lot of people's spirits, and it's just a lot of fun. So we always go on the 22nd every year, usually the 21st or the 22nd, because we just want to make sure that we get that in before Christmas. So that is my new favorite Christmas tradition that we have in our family. So I would love to hear yours. I read all of your comments, and I like reading a little bit more about my viewers. So let me know what your favorite Christmas tradition is. So here are the giveaways for this week. Some of these are from viewers who had duplicates in their stash, and I already had a lot of these, so I am passing them on to you. This is number 1, Abby Rose Designs Yuletide on Thistle Hill. That's number 1. Number 2 is a Plum Street Samplers, a Mount Vernon Christmas. That's number 2. Number 3 is Mary 2 by Plum Street Sampler. That is number 3. Number 4, also Plum Street Samplers, Home for Christmas. I have this one stitched. I'll show it to you next week. Home for Christmas. That is number 4. And number 5 is from my stash. This is Kathy Barrick, First Snow. First Snow. Kathy Barrick. That's number 5. So, like the video, subscribe to my channel, answer the question below, let me know which one you're interested in winning. You are welcome to enter to win all of them. You're welcome to enter if you have recently won. I have no rules regarding that. So, that is all I have for you this week. I will definitely come back to you this Thursday, and can't wait to see what I get done this week. Since it is Sunday, it probably won't be as much, but I'll still come and see you all on Thursday. Until then, I hope you have a great start to the week and get a lot of stitching time in. Thanks for joining me today.